Hello Coaster friends, it's Adam here from Pause Games and welcome back to Planet Coaster and welcome back to Hysteria Valley. Right, in this episode today we're going to do something a little bit different and we're going to go through some little updates as and when I do them. So we're not going to do time-lapse in this one, we're basically I'm going to show you the updates each time I've had a little session, I guess, that sounds weird. Every time we've had a little few hours of building, I will go through and show you what we have done. So if you go on to enjoy this video and this park series, don't forget to give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the latest Planet Coaster 1 and 2 content. There's going to be lots of stuff coming up over the next couple of months for Planet Coaster 2 whilst we finish this park. Right then, so off camera, I've done quite a lot of work on our African village, which we now have a name for, which we can see up here. We are now called Mateos. I sort of googled some African village names, and this is the one that I quite liked. So the village is called Mateos. We're at the opposite end of the village from where we started building, so we'll just go through and show you what we've done. There's still got a little bit of work to do around here into the next area just to finish this building off, but the actual area itself is pretty much there. So if we wander in our village, the first thing you might notice is these new themed lampposts which we've got around the area with these little shields and lamps on top. There's various different colour changes throughout, and we've finished the planting as well. So the first thing we've done here, I've scrapped the idea of doing a boat ride across. There's just not really a decent enough transport ride in the game which will work as a boat ride. So instead we have turned this building into the Savannah Delights restaurant using an actual restaurant thing in the game. So that's Savannah Delights. Over this side we have finished our car ride, which we've now called Karaoke Cars. Again, a place in Africa that came up when I googled some things, so that's what this is going to be called. I will show you a very brief overview of the car ride. It's just got a couple of set pieces in it, and a bit of planting and then some abandoned cars, but I'll show you that in a second once we get around the rest of the area. So over here we've just done a bit of light planting, and then a little bit of a water feature over there. Nothing too spectacular, just something little. Again, with loads of boxes and crates and things around, just to give the area a little bit of texture. So this is just a nice little planted, nice little sort of pathing area. And you might notice the flooring has changed. We've got rid of all the curbs, and now we've kind of gone for this themed flooring, which is kind of akin to Animal Kingdom. It's kind of what I'm going for. So the whole area now has got this kind of themed floor with a sort of rockwork edge and planting, so it gives it gives it a lot more of an organic feel, rather than just sort of straight paths which we had before. So again, a bit more theming around here. I've added in some vending machines behind these supply shops so they actually function, so that's good, they work now. Again, this area over here, we've took away all the curbs and added the themed flooring. This one I haven't added a vending machine in just yet because oh no, maybe I did. No, I'm lying to you, I did. I've just covered it with the boxes there. So yep, this one also has a vending machine, which leads there so people can use it. And our 2 flat rides here, our shot and drop towers, have also been named. We've got Ekon and Zori, which are these 2 lovely drop towers right here, which guests are enjoying. And again, we just maybe put a little bit of, I might need to do a little bit more light theme in the queue line, but I think I'm pretty happy with it, the way you've just got this nice canopy overhead. Over here we've got a few more of these themed custom lamp posts around. We've added some actual street lamps to these posts, which you would get that in sort of this kind of area. And then we've added the other entrance sign at this end for Mateos. So that is basically our African village complete. Other than a few more little bits of rock around here which I've missed, which I will do, we are pretty much there. And I'm quite happy with it. I think it was quite good. I think from sort of Teddycam view like this, it kind of works alright. Still needs to figure out an interior for that. which we will do at some point, because I've got some shops in here but I never quite finished it off, and we just need to put some seating, so I might just make it very plain, like a bit of a food court, but we'll figure that out later. But in terms of the actual outdoors of this area, I just thought I'd show you it off, because it's basically they're done, which I'm quite happy with. So let's jump out of Tegicam and I will show you what we've done for the car ride. Oh my jeez. Let me just get myself back into a bit of a... Right, here we go. Right, so the car ride is themed to a car dealership. It's a bit of a garage, so therefore we've added some cars. So we jump onto... I'm not going to do an actual POV of the ride, but you'll see what we've done. So we've kind of semi-disguised the track to give the track itself a touch of realism, but we're not going for like anything too massive. This is obviously the main set piece of the ride, the plane. We've turned off the animation because that might be too much, having an actual motor in there, but a little bit of smoke's fine. So again, like I said, it's very, very sort of budget in a way, this ride. It's just a lot of planting, a lot of rocks, and it's more of just a scenic filler ride. So a lot of this bamboo and vines and stuff like that as we go around. That one seems to be in the ride path, so we need to move that. Same as that rock. I will shift that. We need to do another pass on this, don't worry. I'm also need to do a lighting pass on this ride as well. Over this little rockwork bridge we've got here, just a very light little bit of fountainage. And then we go to the back of the garage, where we've got a few abandoned cars and trucks and all that sort of stuff, just to give that little garage theme a bit of texture. So there we go. We need to just put some more detail on the back of this, but all in all, that is about it for the car ride. One thing which I didn't really consider, this is the boundary of the park right here. So I might need to go in scenario editor just to add some more trees here, just because it looks a bit odd that it's kind of just on the edge there. But we'll work on that. So like I said, the only thing we've got left to do is a bit more theming on the back. I'm just going to put some more of these wood planks in. We need to finish up a few little bits of rock work around there. And I think that was about it really, wasn't it? There's not much else we need to do other than that little bit of interior. So I just thought I'd start the episode with, like I say, just a little quick view of what I've been doing off camera, just to sort of basically finish off this area. And then what we're going to do next is I'll do those little bits I've just spoke about, and then we're going to start working on this area here, which is going to be I don't know if I'm still undecided if I'm going to do a little area or this whole spot. I think we might do this whole bit. I think that makes more sense. And the ride that I'm thinking of putting in here, which is going to be similar to this, but not quite, because obviously we don't want to make it look too samey. I think we're going to do a rapids, because we haven't got a rapids in this part yet. So I think a rapids around here, kind of like quite terrain hugging, maybe with a little bit of a drop, will go nicely around this area. And we'll lower this mounting, because we don't want to make it look like that, because we've already got the sort of mountain water ride in the park. So that's what I think we'll do around here, a bit of a mountain, and then also we need a coaster at the back. So what we'll probably do is have coaster this side and then rapids this side, maybe even make them sort of interact with each other, and then figure out a theme for the area. So at the moment I'm not really sure what theme we're going to go for, but I might just start working on the actual rides themselves, and then we'll see where we get on. So that's sort of the first update today in this video. I will get cracking now on the rest of it, and I will see you shortly to hopefully figure out what we're doing next. Right, cheers, see you in a minute. Right then, so let's have an update. A few hours later, and we have the bare bones of a coaster and a rapids. Now let's just zoom out and have a little glance over what we've got. So we've completely changed the terrain of this area. I've kind of gone for this rugged sort of higgledy-piggledy rock, and we're going to go for The actual theme, 100% at the moment, I'm not sure. Roughly what I'm going for, especially with the rapids. So if you've been to Animal Kingdom, and I'll probably throw a photo up, their rapids has got this kind of rock, burnt down trees. It's kind of got a forestation theme to it, and I think that's kind of what we're going for here. Kind of very terrain, very rugged, a bit like Taron, that sort of thing. I don't know. At the moment, I'm still working on the theme, but we're definitely going for this sort of rugged rock kind of look, where everything is kind of just a little bit off. We're going to put loads of vines everywhere. Imagine loads of moss and that sort of thing. So in terms of the coaster, let's start over here. We've put the coaster in, and we've got a little queue line, which we might expand. This is it's all work in progress. It's all very bare bones at the moment, but we've got the coaster in. Basically what this is, and this one, so full disclosure, I tried to do a custom coaster. Here's a photo of it. It was awful. It was really bad. I spent ages on it. I tried smoothing it. The layout was awful. So I decided, let's get rid. So I'm not very good at making coasters. So I went on the workshop, and I found that this recreation of Hang Time, which kind of fit what I needed. I wanted something that wasn't relatively expensive. I didn't want something too high, but I also wanted something that from like here had a nice sort of view, and from the back of the park, well, the front of the park I should say, it kind of gives a little bit of a view in the distance, but I didn't want it sort of overshadowing everything else. So that's why I went with this. Like I said, it is a recreation of Hang Time. The colours and everything will change, the theming will change, but the thing that will stay is this theme, or this kind of angle we're going for with the rocks. So for example, this kind of situation here where the rocks are encroaching onto the coaster, this is kind of giving a good indication of what we're going to go for with this area, to sort of make it feel like the rocks are taking over, the landscape's taking over, everything's a little bit wonky, a little bit alive, and that's what we're going to go for. Like I said, the actual theme itself, I don't know. It might end up being slightly spooky. It might end up being I don't know. We're going to workshop it because I'm not sure, but I do like this aesthetic, and especially like I say over here with the rapids. I've kind of wanted this to be quite a terrain, ground hugging rapids ride. Very short, but this is kind of what we're going for. So you come up this first lift hill. This one is custom. First lift hill, you've got a little bit of a turnaround at the top. You start going down a small little decline around here, just sort of a little bit of a figure of 8 to sort of get a bit of speed up. And there'll be a bit of theming around here, a bit of audio, building up the ambience, because from inside the rapids itself, you've kind of got this nice terrain around you to sort of so you don't really see what's going on. Like I said, I want to kind of feel like you're in the terrain. Then you come down this corner, and then again the terrain kind of takes over, and you have the one and only drop down here, in kind of landing into the lake. Now we're going to put a bit of rock work around and do a bit of foliage and that to make this blend in a little bit better, but I wanted it to feel like you were really in this water. In terms of the actual water level, it kind of just comes up to about there, so somewhat realistic, the kind of thing you'd get on like a log flume. You don't generally get it with rapids, but we're going with it. So this crosses under the bridge here, so there'll be a bit of interaction once we build this bridge out of the path. And then there's a little bit of a weenie, a bit of a feature down, oh dear, down this corner where you've got sort of, there's a little bit of a rock work turn where we'll add a bit of mist and foliage, and again, blend it into the area. And this kind of from the top, if we can have a look, fulfills a brief of this little area here. So I think it's looking okay in terms of its size and placement. I did want the rapids to interact a little bit more with the coaster, but that wasn't possible really with not doing a custom layout. The original one I did, I made it quite custom around this area, so I could entwine it with and interact with each other, but because we've gone with this blueprint of the hang time, it's not going to be easily possible, so we'll keep them separate, but they're in one area, so they kind of share an area, if that makes sense. So that's where we're up to now. Like I said, I need to sort of come up with a concept of the theming. I think we're going to go, like I said, vines and that sort of thing, make it feel a bit like a bit wooded, sort of on the edge of spooky, but we're not going to go full spooky. I think we're just going to keep it quite generic, but like mysterious. So a bit like what Dark Forest at Alton Towers probably should be, but then we've got a sort of a mysterious air and everything feels a bit off, but not putting like witches and ghosts in there. So that's kind of, I think, what we're going to go for with this. So yeah, massive thank you to whoever made the blueprint. I need to check because I'm terrible at doing that. So hang time, I've just checked on the workshop, was made by Golf. So thank you ever so much for that, Golf. Just want to check that the water level's not too high on the rapids. No, I think that's alright. It's nicely buoyant. It's sort of got a mixture between the lake water and the rapid water inside here, which we'll figure out. Maybe it's a touch low, but we'll figure that out. We can add loads of effects and stuff anyway. Okay, so that's update number 2, I think. Is it number 2, this video? Yeah, we did that last time. So, update number 2. Like I say, from a top view, looking out into sort of this area, the back of the park now is filling out quite nicely. A little bit of theming and audio around there, and then we need to start theming in the areas really and build some buildings. A little canopy over this queue line, we need to put a station building in over the rapids, and we need to start putting in some themes and trees and foliage and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what we'll crack on with in the next part. So I'm gonna get going and I'll give you another update shortly. Okay, right, so next update, and this might actually be the last update for this episode, I think. I've been playing around for a few hours trying to come up with a theme and a sort of a palette for the area, and I think I've kind of come up with it. So as I was saying in the previous one, I wanted to kind of feel like it's a bit taken over, it's a bit run down, and these jagged rocks that we put everywhere. The thing that lends itself nicely to that is these vines. So what we have done is we've used a lot of these vines and also some of the spooky trees, but we've hidden them so the faces aren't there, just to sort of give the area a little bit of a fawny kind of, I don't want to call it spooky, but it is kind of like a mystery kind of spooky area. And I've just done a few bits to kind of give the impression of what we're going to go for. So this sort of like the vines are coming through things, and there's thorns. I said thorns before, didn't I meant thorns everywhere. We're using this sort of ironwood. I think it's called ironwood or whatever this foliage is, just to give it a little bit of colour. We've got a bit of the pinks and the reds in there. Some of these swamp trees. So this is the kind of palette we're going to go for as we sort of expand the area out. We've added a lot of this stuff as we go, sort of around all the area. All this sort of this side sort of had a little bit of a pass with the vines and the thorns and the trees, and then over here I've just made a start on what is going to be the sort of big weenie for the area, and we're going for a kind of splash mountain on morphine kind of really jagged rock kind of drop here, using, like I say, a lot of the same pieces, some of the trees, the thorns, and just to give it a little bit of a dangerous kind of view. That's kind of what I'm going for. So that's going to be like the general theme of this area. Nothing too specific, but it's going to be quite, like I say, generically spooky. Not generically spooky, that's the wrong kind of term. It's going to be very lightly spooky, with a kind of hint towards there being like a mystery to the area. I don't know, you can probably tell from my commentary I haven't got a clue what this is. But I quite like the aesthetic of the sort of jagged rocks and this sort of like these viney things. I think it's a really good piece, and we've kind of spammed that down everywhere. So that's going to be the kind of theme that we go for the area. We still need to work on obviously the buildings. I need to finish up like the pathways, the fencing, and all that kind of stuff. But I think as a general first pass at this area, I think it's looking quite good. It's filling out the map quite nicely, and I think it kind of encloses the area quite well, and it gives it very much a unique look compared to the rest of the park. And also, if you could come down here to this area, because we've kind of put this area in its own little place, you kind of only see it through that little area peeking through, so it kind of works in terms of its theme. And same for the rest of the park, really. It's not going to be that visible from sort of many places. So if we come down here, you see what I mean? It's pretty much hidden, so all the areas will still feel pretty separate. Same again if we head over here to our adventure area and come down to ground level. When you get on to the log flume kind of area, you see it's still quite well hidden across the back, because we did think about that when we built these previous areas with the berms. So this pathway here, we might as well talk about it while we're here, is going to lead us round to the rest of the lake, which eventually is going to sort of catch up with the area we've just built, which is here. So if we zoom out, you can sort of get an idea of where we are. So we can certainly fit at least another one, maybe two themed areas in here. What I think we're probably going to do once this area is done, we'll have another theme in this section, and then we're going to slightly expand out this adventure area, which we still need to name, around this area, just sort of slightly, maybe add another couple of flat rides or something here. So then we've got one big zone, finish off the adventure, and then it's done. So let's have one of those little overview looks of the park, because it's definitely coming together, and I've not had a look at this for a while. There we go, look at that, it's coming together. So all our original stuff here and new stuff around the back, and then one more area here. I think it's going to look quite nice, and this is quite a big space as well, so we've got quite a lot of room to work with something here. So at the moment we've got 2 coasters, so we definitely need another one here. We've got 2 water rides, rapids, and a log flume over here. We've got a slow moving boat ride here with a dark ride scene. There's also a slow moving ride there, a couple of thrill flat rides, a couple more flat rides around here. So the thing this park is missing is a dark ride, which is certainly something we're going to put in here. So I think a coaster, a dark ride, and some flats in this area, and then a few flat rides just to finish off the adventure area. And that's probably gonna do us for this park, I think. That's certainly the plan anyway. So that is going to do us for this episode. Let's just go back over here and just have a look closely at what we've done. So there we go, that's going to do us for today. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to give us a like down below, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the latest content. If you fancy a chat, head over to the comments section and let us know what you think to this area. I prefer this method of making these videos now. I think we're going to move away from the time-lapse because it's just easier to put these together. I feel like I can do more with the time, and I think it's just a lot better to show off the areas rather than the time lapse. You can't really see what's going on. So I think moving forward, this will be the new method of videos. So let me know what you think to that down below. If you don't like it, let me know. We can change it, but that's what I'm going to do. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.